This is the programme that shows you the side of police chase videos they didn't want you to see. Bungled arrests, kamikaze crooks and cop-based carnage of all kinds. Welcome to Cops Uncut, the real car crash TV. Coming up on Cops Uncut. This felon finds himself in the firing line. This busy policewoman is rushed off her feet. And these cops on call go head to head.
Taking off again.
We've all had a boss we've hated at least once in our lives, but most of us are just glad to get away from them and find another job. Not so the improbably named Russell Sublet. He's got a score to settle and decides to take a drive over to his former employer's house in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
He's driving on the complete wrong side of the road. He's just about hit a truck head on.
Along the way, an entourage of angry cops has latched on to Sublet's tail, and they've become increasingly concerned with the state of his driving. After brushing a succession of vehicles aside and racing through a police spike strip, not one, not two, but three of his tyres are blown.
Or he's about to lose it.
So it comes as no particular surprise when this happens. But even after such a prodigious prang, he's still desperate to catch up with his old boss.
All four tires are out. He's still trying to run, though. He can't go much longer.
Time to trade in this battered old pickup truck for a new model. Dodging a few poorly aimed bullets, Sublet drags a woman from the driving seat and hijacks her vehicle. The officers are queuing up like punters at a fairground to aim at this sitting duck. But as the not-so-terrified woman walks for her life, he survives to continue the wild goose chase, much to the consternation of these educated cops.
Go, go, go! Get this motherfucker! Shot fired, Bowling Green, shot fired, he's in another vehicle! Get this motherfucker!
Sublet puts his new ride through its paces for several more miles of hair-raising driving before arriving at his old employer's home just in time for tea. Not wanting to make a grand entrance along the gravel drive, he decides instead on a shortcut. Through the fence, across the lawn, and straight into the house. Fortunately, the owner isn't around to receive guests, but that doesn't stop Sublet from helping himself to a conveniently accessible stash of weapons and preparing for a siege of Rambo-esque proportions. After making Swiss cheese out of the stairwell, the SWAT team finally scores a direct hit. It was another 4 days before Sublet finally gave himself up. But after a high-speed chase, a spectacular crash, a carjacking and a shootout, I don't think he'll be getting his old job back. Still to come in part 1. This drunkard gives the cops a language lesson.
Oh, fuck you, buddy.
And this sports car takes a trip to the scrapyard.
taking off again.
In Austin, Texas, patrolwoman Brenda Bermudez has pulled over this station wagon for speeding and calmly strolls up to have a word with the driver, one Armando Torres.
Where y'all going? Where y'all coming from?
I'm right here in my mom's house.
You are?
Yeah. That's where I'm going right now.
Bermudez continues to follow standard police procedure, but as anyone who's seen the movie Psycho will tell you, there's no one more dangerous than a mummy's boy. So by now the alarm bell should be ringing.
Nah, I'm just gonna go right here to my mom's house.
44 to 403, are you 10-8?
If she hasn't already been decomposing in the basement for the past few years, Torres' mum probably thinks the sun shines out of his backside, but Officer Bermudez is a little more suspicious.
You have no weapons?
No, I don't got no weapon.
Okay. Any drugs, bombs?
No, I don't got no drugs.
Yeah, you're going 48 in the 30.
I'm sorry, man.
Whose car
I'm
is
trying to
it?
go to my mom.
Bermudez decides to call back to the station for a vehicle check, and once she's discovered the truth about Torres' car, things start to get a little mixed up in his mind. All of a sudden, he's behaving as if it's his mum who's telling him off and not a police officer.
The vehicle that was missing earlier.
It was missing earlier. It was missing earlier? What do you mean missing earlier? What do you mean missing earlier, man?
Let go of your hands.
I ain't doing nothing, man.
Let go of your hands.
I ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
I ain't doing nothing.
Bermudez reaches through the driver's window to slap on the cuffs.
I ain't doing it, man.
Okay.
Why are you doing this to me, man?
I want you to stay where you're at, sir, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
But Torres is finding it difficult to cope in his confused state.
Stay where you're at.
He accelerates away with Officer Bermudez still attached to the steering wheel, as she finds herself quite literally swept off her feet. With both car and cop disappearing into the night, this homesick honcho had better give his mum a call and tell her to set another place for dinner, because tonight he's bringing a girl home, Southern style. Some cops find it hard to let go of a crook when he tries to escape, and Officer Bermudez is so tenacious that she gets driven right round the bend. The car had run over her legs before Bermudez managed to struggle free. But she survived with minor injuries, and Torres' mum can now see him whenever she likes, so long as it's during prison visiting hours. Drunk test dummies. Meet 29-year-old James Lane, whose hobbies include amateur escapology, van driving, and drinking to excess.
Oh, fuck you, buddy. I'll bust out your fucking window!
201-462 on tag 1.
Fuck you!
Get your head in your glasses, okay? Right
No, I want my phone,
right here.
I want my glasses,
Right here.
and I want my van parked, and I don't want no motherfucker driving it.
All right, close it.
Yeah, close the door. Yeah, I'm gonna show you close the fucking door, buddy. I'll kick the fucking goddamn window out. Oh, wow, you think I'm scared? Hey, you done tased me for no reason, you fucking dumbass!
Lane may have been tased, but he's certainly not fazed by the cops who arrested him as he tries to make good his escape. This amateur Houdini wants out, even if he does have to use his head as a battering ram.
Where's the captain? I want to talk to the captain! No!
He certainly is one very demanding prisoner.
Cause you assholes won't fix these!
If it's not valet parking he's after, it's a handcuff repair service.
I asked you nicely to fix my handcuffs, and you want to be an asshole. Yeah!
Next thing you know, he'll be asking for room service.
You guys are so fucking goddamn funny, huh?
You did this to yourself, man.
Fucking goddamn door.
When all other powers of persuasion have failed him, Lane has to resort to a very hard stare.
37 there at
I'm gonna
103.
break it out the rest of the way. I'm gonna go right through it.
That's clear. When they
Right
clear here, I'll be
fucking through
25
it, buddy.
with them to their office.
Here we go. I'm going right through it.
Coming to any
Then it's time for a little more headbutting.
Here it goes. Here it goes all the way out, buddy. I'll bust this motherfucker out all the way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good job, huh? Dumbasses leave my fucking van run, huh? Yeah. Motherfucker!
At least for tonight, though, David Blaine can rest easy.
Fuck you!
Human evolution is a marvellous thing, and we've come a long, long way from the horse, the cart, and the muddy track. The modern-day Freeway just isn't designed for dawdling, and in combination with a sporty little two-seater hatchback, those invitingly smooth lanes of tarmac are, as Little Richard once so famously sang, built for speed. The only trouble is the sort of knuckle-dragging genetic throwback who makes driving on them such a dangerous business. Take this computer game addict. After a lengthy session on his joystick, he stepped straight out of the living room and onto a public road. What he's failed to remember is that there are such things in real life as speed limits, as he makes the other cars look like a row of traffic cones. At speeds which regularly approach 3 figures and with no backup in sight, there's little the chasing cops can do except wait for the inevitable. In this particular game of cops and robbers, there are no extra lives and no extended plays. When you jump a red light at 60 miles an hour, there will be a crash, and when you plough into the front of a big black pickup, you will come off second best. There's a bank robbery in progress in South Bend, Indiana, and these brave boys in blue are speeding to the scene. With any luck, they'll arrive just in time to take down the crooks and get their faces in the morning paper. But they've reckoned without a short-sighted motorist who appears to be in just as much of a hurry as they are. When this driver attempted an ill-advised overtaking maneuver, little did he know that he was about to be hit by the full force of the law. In one fell swoop, he's totaled his own car, a police cruiser, and by blocking the road with debris, any chance the other cops have of catching the crims. Everyone knows there's more than one way to catch a drunk driver. You could wave a pen in your inebriated suspect's face to see if his eyes can follow it, or ask him to recite the alphabet while standing on one leg.
I respect the law. I should have gone to Carolina than a goddamn lawyer. You want to be a goddamn...
But these Texas lawmen have decided on the cunning strategy of doing absolutely nothing. So they don't so much catch their man as allow him to fall flat on his face.
Taking off again.
Still to come in part 2. 2 sibling suspects try to keep it in the family. And this bull mistakes a cop car for a china shop. It wasn't me, Gov. Here's another example of a crim trying to disguise himself as a model citizen. This time it's a teenage tearaway who's been driving his pickup like it's a Super Mario Kart.
Go ahead and shut off your vehicle. Go ahead and open up the door and step out for me.
Am I arrested?
This wide-eyed innocent's first tactic is plain old denial, as evidenced by this next pantomime exchange.
So
What can I do, please?
you were running from me.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
You didn't see me behind you?
No.
We don't believe you.
Can I call my dad to tell him to come get the truck?
Next, he tries to delay proceedings by dragging his family into them. But Dad is hardly going to be pleased when he finds out what his son's been up to.
I've had like 6 calls on you, buddy.
For what, man?
For reckless driving. Turn
Already
around.
been
I'm not going to
arrested.
tell you again.
In fact, it seems like this young offender is the only person left on Earth who doesn't realise he's done anything wrong.
Can you let me go to my house, please? I don't want to go to jail.
No, you're not going
Please.
home.
Why?
And you were doing at least 70 down a residential street.
Third on the list of evading tactics is an attempt to preempt some police brutality.
Just go ahead and give me your other hand and we'll get this straight.
I don't want to go to jail, man.
What? Nobody wants to go to jail. Just put your other hand behind your back right now.
I don't want you to beat my ass.
Well, put your hand behind your back and you won't have no problem.
I'm an
First thing-
asthmatic. Let me
first thing-
take it, my asthmatic first. Take it out of my pocket and let me take it first.
All of that fibbing has left him out of breath, so the teenager resorts to faking illness in an attempt to buy some time. And for his final gambit, asthma is replaced by amnesia.
What am I going to get charged with then?
Reckless driving,
Okay. Why is that?
because you were driving reckless.
No, it wasn't. What else?
Evading arrest in a vehicle.
Evading arrest, yeah, right.
This youthful speed merchant's attempt to talk his way out of an arrest had all the finesse of a car crash, which, ironically enough, is what he would have caused if the cops hadn't been there to stop him.
Taking off again.
Cops in Lakeland, Florida are on the tail of 2 brothers who have just robbed a bank. Normally you can rely on bank robbers to be a bit dumb and make a mess of their getaway attempt. The only problem is these guys haven't put a foot wrong. If the cops are going to bring this chase to an end anytime soon, they need to try something more imaginative than just driving along with their lights flashing. After checking the police manual, they come up with a plan to set up a roadblock. And here it comes. What a shame. With just a solitary motorbike at their disposal, these cops don't seem to have quite grasped the concept. At least not enough to actually impede the robbers' progress. Back on their way, the bank-robbing brothers cut up some traffic and get themselves a clear run at the freeway. Having bungled their attempt at a roadblock, it's time for the cops to admit that they just can't handle the whole high-speed chase thing and call in some backup. Sadly, this turns out to be more backup than they actually needed. It's obviously a quiet day down at the station because the whole force seems to have turned up in order to lend a helping hand. Realising that they might just be a tad outnumbered, the brothers decide to throw caution to the wind and ram the cops, which only seems to make them even more angry. As yet another police car tries to find a parking space near the crash, you might think that they've overreacted just a little to this incident. But just when you thought it was all over, the enterprising brothers make a run for it on foot. They take off down a side street and into a car park, closely followed by the Lakeland police force, the kitchen sink and his dog. They began as brothers in arms, but now they're brothers in handcuffs. The brothers John and Michael Olsen made a run for it, and like their namesakes, teen TV stars the Olsen twins acquired a committed male following along the way. But where Mary, Kate and Ashley were jail bait, these bank-robbing brothers were just jail-bound. Officers on patrol in Massachusetts got a shock when they came across this curb-crawling cow. The 2,000-pound Scottish Highlander had escaped from a farm earlier in the evening and probably thought he'd left the pigs behind him, but no such luck. These cops thought they were signing up to one of the more exciting jobs on offer. But instead, all they've got to look at is a close-up view of a cow's arse.
Oh, man.
There's no getting around it. Cattle rustling just isn't as much fun as chasing down wanted felons. The chase never goes above 3 miles an hour. You're more likely to catch a suspect chewing grass than smoking it, and when it's all over, the only bars he'll be seeing will be on a grill. So the cops decide to save themselves the paperwork and ask the farmer to come and collect his free-spirited bull, with only one snag. He's worked out who snitched on him. Although the cops don't get a chance to charge anyone, at least the bull does. That's just what you need after an evening of farmyard fun. A dent in your bonnet. Still, there's a steak dinner on offer this evening to whoever manages to catch it first. So, what have we learnt today on Cops Uncut? Look up your old boss and you could end up looking down the barrel of a gun. Don't mess with a pickup truck unless you want to be dealt a crushing blow. And remember to keep your eyes open when you decide to overtake. Be careful out there.